My name is Lady Science. I will be talking about an article, The Gene Therapy Comes of Age. So the information provided by these articles about gene therapy and its successful outcome of becoming a treatment option for different type of disease in humans. Different genes delivery vector were used in which most of them gave the evidence provided a level of certain toxicity when they were performing the trials at the beginning of these treatments trials. But with the increased advances in clinical trials approvals, as well as increasing in efficacy, and some genes therapies have been approved for the use of the gene therapy in some diseases, such as, for example, the use of AAV, the adeno-associated virus, and lactovirus vectors. So, a summary about these articles, the evidence, data, and the conclusion is in this article called Gene Therapy Comes of Age, the author states that gene therapy offers advantage of curative clinical benefit by a single treatment. He mentioned different gene therapy trials in which are carefully studied for many years, mostly focuses on the in vivo administration of viral vectors, and also adoptive transfer of genetically engineered T cells or hematopoietic stem cells. At first, the application defective retroviruses and also adeno-associated viruses AAV gave as a result of the toxicity and inflammatory response and even death. But they are decreasing the level of toxicity or also genotoxicity, for example, by removing the endogenous strong enhancer element for lentiviral using self-inactivating design. This is to decrease the level of, as I mentioned, the genotoxicity. However, some of the benefits of using these gene therapies, such as the AAV vectors or CAR therapy, were useful for transduction of autologous hematopoietic stem cells, with the positive evidence for patients with the auto deficiency diseases and also congenital blindness, and by using muscle administration were also effective for different diseases such as in the liver, retina, and also cardiac muscles, and the central as well as the central nervous system. And other disorder, another therapy was the T cell engineer to express the CD19 specific, the chimeric antigen receptor that had an impact anti-tumor activity in patients with lymphoid malignancies. So anyway, moreover, retroviral vector were used. This approach vector were capable of reverse transcription and DNA integration, but it also lacked in replication. So that's why it wasn't effective. And last but not least, the use of the newest gene therapy CRISPR associated 9, which is efficiently for DNA at sites of interest when using this approach. This design is specific for short guide and RNA complementary to the target site, as he mentioned in his article, and therefore simplify the process of genome editing, such as turn on and off of the genes by targeting the base editing. As a result, the approach of all these therapy will work efficiently in the future as to minimize or neutralize the antibodies to certain vector that some patients showed on the trials that they were too toxic or was having toxicity in their system. Most of the gene therapy trials were showing positive outcomes, and most of them had been approved for use for patients that respond to gene therapy. My personal opinion about this article is that it is a great article, very informative, and also provide very important information about the gene therapy for any serious disease. It is really relevant to know about the advanced treatment for disease that have success with existing treatments. And I believe that continuing to keep discovering and making gene therapy success for patients that have that are being that are suffering and going to endless treatment and with side effects that avert them to have a better quality of life. Thank you.